Welcome to Revlog.
Who are you?
Where I am back. And
The chair is filled.
The chair is filled. Yeah. Aaron and Bryan have had a lot of extra FaceTime lately.
That's right. So you're just going to carry the ball today.
I'm going to carry the ball today and run.
This is no filler. The no filler version.
Was there a lot of filler the last 2 weeks? Is that what I'm hearing?
Aaron?
Is that what we're calling it now?
No. It was good stuff. You guys know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You can hold down the fort.
Well, it's good to have you back, Pastor.
Thanks. Grateful to be back.
Welcome.
So today, my understanding is we have moved along in the Ten Commandments to "Thou shalt not murder."
Mm-hmm.
Is that where we are, Bryan?
It is. It's
I feel
right
like we need
where we are.
dun dun dun.
Yeah.
We need some sort of.
We need Seth.
That's
Seth.
right.
Yeah, Seth.
This will be a killer version
Oh,
of the...
are there going to be puns today? Are we having puns today?
Talk about filler.
Bryan, why don't you help us jump into "Thou shalt not murder" without a pun?
I can do it.
Okay.
I find it very interesting that it's phrased, "Thou shalt not kill,"
Yeah.
rather than "You have the right to defend yourself." If we talk a lot about that,
Yeah.
and we just accept the world as if it will remain as it is, and we say the remedy for that is you have the right to be in a defensive posture.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that you protect yourself and protect what's precious to you, and that's how you live in this world. But the Ten Commandments would lead us to reverse that and to aim to change how we live.
When I think you listen to Jesus through the Gospels, it's anything but a defensive posture, right?
Yes.
It's an attitude of love. It's an offensive love in that it is going out on its own. That's the posture that you take.
That's exactly right. And it is a he says go with the person 2 miles or turn the other cheek or it's a laying down of yourself.
That's good. Now you did give a little tweak there to what the way I started. I said "Thou shalt not murder." You said "Thou shalt not kill."
I did say
Are we
kill.
going to get into semantics there? Or are we going to let Aaron run with that?
Aaron,
with that ball.
You want to?
Is that where you were going to go, Aaron?
I'm so glad you brought this up.
Okay, good.
That was a great segue.
Yeah, he's an ancient work here. Look at this.
These are all the words are in here.
Blow the dust off.
So it's seemingly so simple, right? Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not murder.
Right.
Why is this hard? Well, let's unpack this just a little bit. I listened to a news program just several weeks ago, and it was from an Army chaplain. And he was counseling some of his combat soldiers who have been put in the line of duty where they've had to defend themselves or had to kill, had to go on the offensive, whatever it was, but they took a life and they were struggling with this.
Right.
Their understanding of Scripture and their call to duty and those kinds of things. And something seemingly so simple is not so simple. And they're having, and so so I go back to some of the commentaries that I trust and I go back to, and this is still a society, this ancient Israel, who believes in capital punishment.
Right.
They also believe in lawful or just war.
Right.
And so, but God doesn't. That's not what God's saying here. So, I guess I'm making an observation and asking a question at the same time. Were the Israelites kind of having their cake and eating it too, and you don't murder unless it's okay, and then that's a very tough thing to swallow, and something we're thousands of years later still struggling with. What is just war or murder for that sake in defense of your country?
And I think some sense of the semantics here, I think most take that there's no such thing as just murder, right? That murder in itself is an unjust killing.
Absolutely,
right? That if you use that word, you wouldn't use just murder in that way.
But we're left to tease this out. I think the original word, I said "Thou shalt not kill." That's the King James, and I think that it just is that word, isn't it? Kill.
I believe that's right.
And murder is a
more of a legal kind of thing.
It's a commentary, though. I mean, when you change it to the word murder, that's an interpretation.
Yeah,
that's right.
I could probably give my own feeling about, how I feel about defending your country and the need to defend against, evil that is truly
Sure.
out there.
Right.
And so I'm just, as we read this and take it at face value, it's pretty clear. And so we really do have to wrestle with, how is God calling us to deal then with these times where it's sometimes not giving a choice, or
Yeah, and Aaron, this is with anything. I mean, the Bible is not going to spoon feed us. It wants us to develop a moral compass and
right.
and a nuanced worldview, so that we can apply these things rightly as we actually live. These aren't abstract concepts; they're meant to be lived.
So we're walking a tightrope here, and you kind of said your question was with your comment, but Bryan, what question do you have of this?
Well,
verse
my
today?
question is, why do we need this command? I mean, if this dropped out of the Bible today, I would not. I'm pretty confident. Now, this is, this is a statement that probably one would live to rue the day that he ever made it. But I don't think I would kill anybody. I wouldn't go out and murder anybody. I'm not on a hair trigger like that. So why do we need it? Well, I think that's proof that it's done its work. I don't think any of the three of us, are murderers in waiting, but it's done its work on us and on our society, which means that we actually do still need it, because I think we need to go back and comprehend why.
Yeah, sure.
Why is that? Why do we not murder?
Yeah.
We always need to keep that ever before us.
Yeah, yeah. Aaron?
Well, and if I could just comment on that, I said something last week in the vlog and also in my Sunday school class that, we did an exercise where we wrote classroom rules. If you're going to have a class of
Right.
first graders, what are those rules for your class going to be? And nobody said don't murder. Nobody said don't commit adultery for those 6-year-olds.
Right.
And and I said, why didn't you do that? And they said, consider your audience. And when you look at, and I believe that, like you said, they're dynamic, they're to be lived. These commandments are for us now.
Sure.
But you also look very specifically at these Israelites coming out of Egypt, where there was idol worship, where there were other gods, and he was reminding them that that's not how I've created you to be.
Right.
So you create rules for where people are and the things that they have a propensity towards. And so just to remind you, this is not where we need to go.
That's right. And as a society, we could go down a slippery slope if we abandoned this command, and we could begin to justify, well, that's not exactly murder. And then all of a sudden it expands back out to where we...
Yeah. Well, no, I'm just thinking back through where you were earlier, Bryan, in helping us here. I don't think any one of us are set to go out and murder anyone, like you said. But,
Right.
I mean, history and time have proven that violence is rampant among humanity, and we regularly need to be reminded
Sure.
of this commandment.
It wouldn't take very long if this
Yeah.
command dropped out before we'd be back to square one.
Yeah, exactly. Well, good. You have heard us wrestling with this command this week. Help us wrestle with it on the comments that are beside us here on the vlog, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.
I think we slayed that.